Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister has effectively told us that he's not able to do two things at the same time. This issue of a delay is a weak excuse, and I would say to him that by refusing this inquiry, he is enabling those people who wish to smear all British Muslims based on the actions of a small minority. He is talking about distraction tactics. Let us have the truth. The Prime Minister cannot tell the House the full scale of the scandal. He doesn't want questions asked of Labour politicians who may be complicit. He won't listen to the victims. He won't listen to the victims who are calling for a national inquiry. He is making this all about a bill this afternoon. Later today, he will tell Labour MPs, including in Telford, Rochdale, Bristol, Derby, Aylesbury, Oldham, Bradford, Peterborough, Coventry, Middlesbrough, Newcastle, Ramsgate, to tell all of these people to vote against a national inquiry into the gangs which have systematically gang raped children in their constituencies. This is one of the worst scandals in British history, Mr. Speaker.
Sorry? This is a very, very important issue that does matter to the country. It matters to all our constituents. I want to make sure they can hear what's being said by the Leader of the Opposition and the Prime Minister of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, this is one of the worst scandals in recent British history. But how are they going to explain to their constituents that obeying his whip is more important than doing the right thing?
She's right to say it's one of the worst scandals. It's terrible. That's why I acted on it. But her recently acquired view that it's a scandal, having spent a lot of time on social media over Christmas, not once in 8 years did she stand here and say what she's just said. Not once in 8 years. They didn't act on the recommendations. They want a national inquiry. We had a national inquiry, the J inquiry, the J report. 20 recommendations, not a single one implemented. Not a single one implemented. And she said you can do two things at once. You can't kill the bill this afternoon, wreck that bill, and protect children. Mr. Speaker, there was a dreadful case of Sarah Sharif that everybody will remember. This was the girl taken out of school and abused by an abuser. The bill this afternoon fixes that gap. And I know, I'm looking across, I know there are honourable members on the benches opposite who know very well that what's in this bill is necessary, that it's the right thing to do, and that would want to vote for this bill. I urge them to think twice about following this short-sighted, misguided, bandwagon-jumping approach of the non-leadership of the Leader of the Opposition. I urge them to.
Yes. Yes, you have seen the video. That is the clash in quotes between the Conservative Party leader Kemi Badnoch and the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer on the issue rape gang in the United Kingdom. Unfortunately, or fortunately, it depends on your view, the Parliament voted against inquiry into this issue, that is the rape gang issue in the United Kingdom. That's the topic on International Desk for this week. My name is Mojisola Shulaja, and I have our public affairs analyst in the house with me, Tunde Shulaye. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, listeners, home and abroad.
Now, you've seen the video. You heard what Kemi Badnoch's view on rape inquiry, on gangs grooming, and you heard that of the UK Prime Minister to Keir Starmer. What is your take on this?
I think before we move ahead, I think it is better for us if we can just define what rape really means.
Okay.
And I think rape is a severe sexual sexual abuse that involves, that is non-consensual. It is not consensual, and it is carried out through force, manipulation, or deceit. It could come in whichever way, but I think this issue had lingered for so long in Britain. For years now, we've had several complaints about rape, especially in the northern part of the place. But then, Kemi Badnoch came up with the idea that this is one case too many. It is better an inquiry is set up, and that people are ready to give evidence. They are ready to to speak up and say yes, so date, time, and things like that. They are ready. And I don't know why some other person will have just come up with the idea and said, no, this is not supposed to be. You see, rape has become an issue worldwide that has made women to be deprived of their rights. A lot of things are happening to our women, and it is not too good, it is not humane than when we treat women folk in this form. So to me, I think it is not a good idea for that inquiry not to have been set up.
But according to Keir Starmer, he said, why didn't Kemi Badnoch raise the issue when she was the children's minister? Why now? I think probably, and the fact that, do you think it has a political undertone?
Of course, yes. They are trying to politicize the issue. You see, for the fact that somebody did not raise that issue long ago, does not mean it cannot be raised this time around. The bone of contest is justice. Let us find justice. Let us serve justice. Let there be no political undertone on this issue. Let us address the issue headlong. You see, for the fact that Kemi Badnoch is now raising this issue shows that that thing is still happening. And it is better to get to the root of this so that it will stop happening. And so I don't want them to politicize the issue at all.
But you know, sometime in, I think between 2020 and 2022, there was a report on it too. Just as you said earlier, it is not a fresh issue.
Sure.
It is an issue that has been on for quite a while now. Now, a report was on that one, but unfortunately, the report was not put to use. It was not implemented. The result of that report was not implemented. And now that Kemi Badnoch is bringing up the issue again, what do you think this will have any effect on the political landscape of UK in the future?
Of course, it will definitely have an effect on the political landscape. You see, like I said earlier, because this issue had lingered for so long, and if you Google this report, you see that a lot of things, a lot of activities have been. There are so many reporters that have, they brought out this news, and very many of them, very many people too have been convicted of this crime, and it is happening in a particular location. It is happening to a particular sect. You see, what I think they were trying to cover is that they don't want, we were told that the people that are involved in this act are British Pakistanis. And a lot of people might want to attach religion to it. And that's why they are trying to be careful so that they will not just raise an issue that will become some kind of
explode.
Exactly, that could engulf the whole nation. But I think it is better to address this issue so that you get to the root and people will stop suffering. They will stop suffering until this is addressed. So I don't know, But I want to believe that a lot of well-meaning Britons are there that are watching how the event is unfolding.
Yeah, another issue that was raised is the fact that Kenny Badnoch had yet to visit any of the victims. I began to wonder, inquiry, visiting the victims, any correlation between the two?
You see, that's why we said they are being political about it. For the fact that she had not visited does not mean there is not an issue. There is an issue. People are ready to come up and speak up. A lot of findings had been done. And all that the government needs now to do is just to set up an inquiry, do proper investigation, do proper check and every other thing, and come up with the government blueprint and let them know how to serve justice. Let the culprits be identified and let them be arrested and punished according to the law. But I have told you, they are trying to look at religion. They don't want some kind of religious issue that will erupt from the case. That's why they are trying to being careful about it.
And the likes of Elon Musk comment, the impact of that comment on that issue. Elon Musk is actually supporting the conservatives, Kenny Badnoch, calling for an inquiry. So I want to believe that somehow the UK, the Parliament, you know, they will not be comfortable with it, because it's as if they're poking their nose. Showing interest means a lot. Or what do you think?
You see, I want us to know one thing. Like I said it earlier, that for the fact that this was not mentioned a long time ago, does not mean you cannot bring it up at all. For the fact that this case is raised at all, even now, is enough for the government to set up an inquiry. You see, Elon Musk as well as bought the idea of Kenny Badnoch, and I want to believe that he will not stop until justice is served. You see, one thing I want us to know is that a lot of people all over the world are not happy, especially when you hear about rape here, rape there. And I told you that it is now like a viral thing going all across the globe, and it is better we put an end, we put a stop to this.
Elon Musk's interference looks like the US showing interest into UK's politics.
Well, we could view it in many ways. It could be as a result of showing interest in politics. But then what I'm trying to say is this: we should not politicize this case. Let us not politicize it. Let us go to the root until it is done. That is when justice will be served. And I want to tell you that a lot of women out there are not happy seeing this happening. They are not.
Okay, a lot of women definitely are not happy. And, well, probably one way or the other, justice will be served. But then we'll take a break now. When we come back, the program International Desk will continue.
In the last few days, borrowing costs have reached a 27-year high. Excuse me, the program is still International Desk, but then we'll take a look at the part 2
of that video to see more reactions on that issue?
Speaker, the Prime Minister is being very specific because I have raised this issue. I've raised it in speeches, I've raised it publicly. He knows that as a minister, I would not have been speaking on this specific issue. I was not a Home Office minister, but Mr. Speaker, I will remind him about other victims who came to me who I did help. The victims of the Tavistock scandal who came to me as a minister. I didn't send them away like his safeguarding minister. I made sure, as his Labour Party were calling me transphobic, that we launched the CAS review, which even his health secretary has accepted. So we do right by victims, Mr. Speaker. The reason why a national inquiry is important is because this issue is systemic. It has been involving local and national officials, the police, prosecutors, and politicians. He talks about some of the local inquiries, but these interlinked issues cannot be covered by local inquiries alone. In fact, the leaders of the Manchester inquiry resigned because they couldn't get evidence, they couldn't summon witnesses, and not a single person in a position of authority has been held to account. The Prime Minister called for 9 inquiries in the last Parliament. Does he not see that by resisting this one, people will start to worry about a cover-up?
Yes, Karim Badnoch again on the floor of the House of Commons, and you heard that's the fact. But then, Commissioner, like I said earlier on, she's not the first to raise it. A report had not been implemented. Could it be that it is, yes, you said it, that since it's amongst the people, the guilty ones now, minority, it's among the Muslim minority, so it is not probably, they do not want to create chaos, religious chaos. But then what about the victims? How do you think the victims will feel? Do you think they will trust the Starmer's government?
Honestly, they will not. They will not. And that's why you earlier asked that will this not have an effect on the political landscape of Britain? And I want to tell you that a lot of people are not happy. In fact, women are not happy about the way this case is being treated. I even read a report whereby a 12-year-old girl reported to her parents and that someone had assaulted her, and they went to the police station. When they got there, that lady was eventually arrested, and the culprits were left unpunished, and that resulted into some sort of demonstration. And I want to tell you that people that were affected are boiling, and whether the House of Commons, whether they like it or not, this issue will still come up. This issue will still continue. It will still linger until it is addressed, because nobody wants to keep quiet, even in the face of tyranny or, how do I put it now, in face of affliction. Nobody is ready to keep quiet. Everybody wants to speak up now and to get justice.
But globally, do they get justice at the end of the day? It's not just in UK now, even in Nigeria.
Of course, yes.
You know, what is, when you look at it now, what is the percentage?
You say the percentage is very, very minimal, very low. What I mean is this. A lot of things are happening that could make this to continue. But I think it is better we start somewhere. You see, some of the things that happen is that a lot of people view women as how do I put it?
Not just the weaker vessel.
Exactly. That they are subordinate. They think women are subordinate to men. You know, this male dominance of a thing is affecting almost everyone across the globe. And not that alone, the justice system is weak. And a lot of things need to be put in place for women to get justice, especially about rape. A lot of things need to be put in place.
Okay, now let's talk about other countries now. This is not happening in just the UK. Even in Pakistan, India, these are common cases, several cases there. And at the end of the day, you see, even they go as far as murdering the victims,
yes.
you know, in some cases. So what can be done globally to bring this, to stem this tide?
I think one of the things that could be done is to strengthen the judicial system, to make sure that culprits are punished. They are given the actual punishment due for such cases. And not that alone. We need to empower women. We need to empower women. You need to support them in all ways. And another one is that we need to set boundaries. Women too need to set boundaries when you are dealing with one person or the other that you are not family. I want to say this as well, that in case of this, how do I put it now? In case you have a relationship with a particular person, or you know, a lot of people, they use male dominance to lure women into these sexual vices, and I think all this needed to be done so that women will get justice.
For major education, what about education?
Education is part of it. Education is part of it.
Yes, what can be done? The families, homes, individuals.
At the family level, we need to tell our female to always set boundaries. You know, whenever you have a male friend, let that be a boundary, because a lot of things are happening right inside the heart of a person that you call your friend, that you cannot see, that you cannot know. And so when that happens, when you set boundary, if you see that person, the other person going beyond that boundary, you quickly readjust yourself and tell the person, no, don't go beyond this level. And not that alone. A lot of people do attack women because of the way they dress and the way they speak or behave in the society. I want to admonish our women too, or ladies, that they should dress decently. When you
just a minute, it's been, I want to admonish women should create boundaries. There is, even while you're talking, you know, there is this inequality you're yet to address, to speak to the men, to speak to boys.
You see, I have spoken. That's why I said we should set boundaries. Men too should set boundaries between you and the female partner. Let there be a boundary. Don't go beyond your boundary. Don't go beyond your level, so that in case anything happens, you'll be able to say, no, don't go beyond this level. But then, you know, because this is affecting women most, and we need to talk to women, a lot of them do not have this education. A lot of men too do not understand what consent means. They don't understand what consent means. They just believe the moment you lay your hands upon a particular lady and you can do anything with. No, it is not so. It is not so. If that thing did not come right from the mind of the person, if consent is not given, it amounts to rape. And so that's how to balance the whole thing now.
Okay, thank you so much, Comrade Tunde Shonaye, for sharing your thoughts with us on this issue. Let me quickly ask you, for the next 5 days, Donald Trump will be inaugurated as the U.S. president.
For the second term.
Yes, the second term. What do you have to say about that? Let's round off with that.
Anyway, Trump had told us a lot are to be expected from him. And my major concern is the one that affects Africans, the one that affects the immigrants. I think he will need to, you know, to cut that, to come down a bit on that. A lot of things are happening all over the world. I would not want him to send out of America those that are illegal immigrants. Let them be accepted, let them be housed, give them all the things that are necessary for them to survive. Okay. Because none of them will want to come back to Africa or to any of their affected countries. None of them will want to do that.
Okay, thank you so much, Comrade Tunde Shonaye, the program international desk, and we just focused on UK rape inquiry. Do join us again same time next week. And by God's grace, next week we shall be talking about the Trump's inauguration as President of the United States for the second term. Till then, I remain Mojisola Shulaja. Bye for now.